What's up, YouTube? Making a little video here again. Last two videos you've seen, I flipped the Durango and then a Lincoln Continental. This time, I picked up this super ugly beat up Eclipse that I think I can put a little lipstick on it and I think I can sell it. It runs and drives. It runs really good. It drives pretty good. Has a little shimmy from the rear end. I'm going to get it up in the air and see if it's... They swear it's unbalanced tires. I don't know about that. I think it sounds more like a wheel bearing. But it's got 141,000 miles on it. It's got a bunch of lights on. Actually, it's only 2 for the traction control because the wheel speed sensor is cut. And then the airbag light because it's been in an accident, so I don't know about that. But and then the service engine soon light for I'm not sure what. I'll scan it and find out when I get home. People are ice fishing and playing hockey already, and there's probably 3-4 inches of ice max. But yeah, I drove it home about 20 minutes last night. Not bad. It's a fun car. It's got a decent stainless steel exhaust. I didn't see what brand it was. It looks decent. I was underneath it. It's not too rusty. The body's very clean for rust wise, but it's got a nice dent on this fender, and then the rear quarter panel's hit. So I'm gonna see if I can't pull the front and rear bumper off and straighten out that rear one a little bit more. Just pull the dent out a little bit more at least. Make it look any better than I can because it's a nice hit. But the taillight's cracked or broken, but it was $600 and it's a GTS and it's a Spyder too. It's a convertible. So it's fully loaded, no radio. I'm going to AutoZone right now. Actually, I might go to Walmart, actually, to be honest with you. I'll either go to AutoZone or Walmart or O'Reilly's, one of them, and I'm going to grab just the cheapest Bluetooth radio I can and just wire it in. They're like $30, and you can get a decent little Bluetooth radio. And then I should have about everything else I need, unless it absolutely needs a wheel bearing, I'll do it, but I don't really want to. I mean, you can see the steering wheel's fine, it doesn't really shake. It's just like a shimmy from the rear end, so it could just be out of balance. The frame rails are straight. I checked them out before I bought it, so it's not like a crooked frame for being hit or anything like that. Yeah, and the convertible top works. Everything works. It drives. You can see the steering wheel straight. It's driving straight. I'm not touching the wheel. But cruise works, heat works, air works. It is an automatic, but it's got this cool little wrap around it. It looks kind of cool. I went to buy it thinking it was a manual because the only picture was that, and I looked like a manual, so I was like, oh, cool. But it's still cool. It's still good. So yeah, I'll show you guys around it and go from there. Just kind of show you guys what I'm going to do to it. Show you before and after. It's pretty ugly. The front bumper's rattle canned and it looks terrible. So I'm going to actually re-rattle can the front bumper so it looks a little better. It's still going to look like crap. It's all broken and the front bumper's all broken. Like I said, there's a dent on this fender. The rear quarter's hit. And those are the only flaws. Then other than that, it's great. It's got low miles, so it's totally worth someone buying it and driving it or learning how to do body work and fixing it. It's a lower mile Eclipse with, like, the frame is clean, no rust. So, I mean, the strut towers, they're clean, like, no rust. So, it's a good little car that would be a great project for, like, a kid and his dad or a kid and his mom or whoever wants to work on it, or just buy it and beat it around. It drives good. It's a convertible. It's a Spyder, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys when we get back, see what I grab for it. All right, she's in the garage here. What we're gonna do is pull the hood pins, pop the hood. I don't know why it has hood pins. Whoever had this thing sure thought it was a race car. To the point where they probably crashed it. And yeah, this hood is cheap as hell. So what I'm going to do is not take the front bumper off. I'm not dealing with that. But I tried finagling with it last night a little bit, trying to get it to come up a little more, but we're just going to leave it. I was going to try and push this out from the inside a little bit, but honestly, I'm not even probably going to mess with it. I don't like how the bottom of that comes out too. It needs to be in, but can't do that. Main thing with this thing is I'm going to jack it up from the rear, pull the wheels off. It's got brand new tires in the rear. Brand new Firestones. I think I'm going to pull the taillights and pull the rear bumper and then try and get this bent out more, or hammer it out. I have a hammer with a face that's about that big around, so it won't leave like needle point. You know, if you hit with a hammer and bodywork, it'll like leave like points. If you have a big face hammer or put a block of wood behind it, hit the block of wood, it'll look a little better. And then I can grind all that rust off and prime it and just add some silver, universal silver. It'll look way better at least. So yeah, and then buff off this leftover black from a Oakland Raider sticker on both sides. Probably take these off, I don't know. But this has a lot of fuzz on it, I don't know. Probably not gonna deal with that. Probably buff this one, get these white scratches off of it. Restore the headlights. Sand this down right here and repaint this gloss black. And then it won't take much. I mean, it's not gonna take too much. And then under the hood, I'll probably just pull the valve cover because I got a set of spark plugs I'm going to do for it. Pull the valve cover, hit it with brake, soak it in brake clean, and you know what? I'm not going to do the spark plugs. I had them from a previous Eclipse that I bought that I never did, and I remember why looking at this. You got to pull the intake to get to the rear ones. The intake manifold. So I'm not going to do that, but I will pull this front valve cover and paint it. I'm going to soak it in brake clean. Prime it and then paint it just a decent color. Just kind of just things that I can touch it up, make it look a little better. It's called putting lipstick on a car. That's what I call it, at least. And then we're gonna get rid of her. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not terrible. Just that dent back here is the only real problem, because I mean, you can easily get a replacement bumper and fender for it's $187 on eBay for a brand new primed bumper and primed fender. That's it. And then this car would look great if it didn't have this, but a body shop could definitely work with that. I don't know if you'd want to. I mean, it's drive it as it is. You know what I mean? Little crease right here. But it's not terrible. A couple little things. It'd be good for someone to learn how to work on a car. It honestly looked really good. Lowered with some wider wheels. But yeah, it's a good look. It's a good little car. New bumper and a new fender, and it'd be ready to go with a little bit of work back there on the body too. It's wired for subs. The tint needs to go, but I'm not gonna do that. It's got leather. It's a Spyder convertible. Wait, now what the hell? The tint is on the outside. Oh my god. The tint is on the outside. That's never seen that before. Tint goes on the inside, fellas. Whatever. All right, so a little update here on the Eclipse. I don't know, I forgot what I did in the last clip, but found my shaking problem, why it shakes from the rear end. I don't know if I told you guys that. It's actually in really good condition for an Eclipse, and in Minnesota, it's surprising. It's worth saving the body, the couple issues. But these guys, the rear lower arms. Both sides of the rear. Everything else is solid. Wheel bearings, everything, brakes are good. There's no grooves in the back of the rotors or anything. Pads are low, but they're not bad. All the other ball joints are solid. It's just those guys, which isn't why it shakes. That's just a light clunking once in a while if you hit a heavy bump I hear from the rear end. Otherwise, I didn't even know that. The shaking is because of that. It wore the tires so uneven. You can see how uneven they are. It is just insane. Both of the rear tires. These brand new Firestone Firehawks are just dicked because of that. So because whoever decided to put brand new tires on the rear didn't want to put $50 in parts. You can order a pair for $50 shipped to your house from eBay. It's literally 1 bolt and then 2 bolt in there, and it's done. But because of that, they ruined these really nice tires, which sucks. They're not usable. I'm going to put them back on it, but Monday I'm going over. I got a set of used Kumo tires. They're like almost 70% tread left at a shop that they're selling. and they'll mountain balance them for $100 put on. So I'm gonna go do that. It'll get 2 good tires for the rear. It shouldn't shake anymore. I'm gonna hold off on these. I'm just gonna put when I sell it in the description that it needs them, because I don't want to wait for the order, because in person at the auto store they're $110 per part, which I'm not putting that into this cheap of a flip car. If it was, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 flip car, yeah, of course I would. But so I'm gonna hold off on those. I'll just put it needs those ASAP. But it won't have the shake anymore because it'll have even tires. So that's that problem. Problem over here was working on inside the panel there. All this was already here, obviously, the hammering marks. Those are not for me. I was just trying to kind of bend it out a little bit more. I didn't really get much. I got maybe I don't know, maybe half an inch back out. But I did grind off the rust that was there and painted over it with a silver paint and then a 2K clear coat. So yeah, you can hear like overspray, but I didn't really care. It's a cheap car. I'll wet sand and buff the overspray off if I really want. But so at least it's not rusty. That's about all. Front tires are nice and good. I checked out the front suspension. It's tight. It's good. It drives like it is too. It's just that rear, but so it's good. It's good to see that it's not anything major at all. So next up, I resprayed the front bumper. It looks a lot better than it did, as you can see. Next up, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull this valve cover, soak it in brake cleaner in the sink over there, and then I'm gonna restore the headlights. I really don't want to wet sand them, so I'm gonna give them a hit with my buffer on a higher RPM. This is just a cheap Guerrero's Garage. It's not like cheap, it's like $160, but on a level 6, this is what I use. I need to get a new one. I need to get a little nicer one, but I'll use my Meguiar's heavy cut right here and go from there. But we'll see what that does to this guy. But yeah, I mean, for the next owner of this car, I mean, if they just get a front bumper and a fender and then they don't care about that dent on the rear end, I mean, it's a good car. So I'm surprised. It's cleaned up nice. At least the silver is starting to match a little better than it did before. It was like all black and silver from a crappy paint job. I just threw silver on it, a universal silver from Duplicolor, and then a 1K clear coat. Called it good. So at least it's silver. You know what I mean? On this cheap of a flip car, you don't want to put much money in. You do everything the cheap way, unless it's essential. Or you do most of it the cheaper way, the more efficient way. Because I paid $650 for this car. You know, I want to sell it for $1,600. So I don't want to be in it more than $700. So just for a quick $900 profit. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit these, see how they clear up with just a buff without a wet sand, because I really don't want a wet sand. All right, well, no need to wet sand. It literally looks brand new after one round of up, back and forth, and then back this way, and then one back. With the buffer on a 6,000 or 6 RPM. I don't know what 6 is setting on that, but you can do it by hand too. It's just this is way better. And then with my heavy cut, and it literally looks amazing. Old, new. That does wonders. Holy smokes. And it will fade up again if you don't like do it good and then re-clear coat it and stuff like that. It'll fade again a little faster than a new headlight, but you know what I mean? Looks great. All right, absolutely. Look how much better those look. Just a one-step buff with a cut. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just throw a little bit of layer of a hand wax on them to kind of seal it, and then it'll be good. God, it looks so much better.